Hi everybody, I'm Senator Rich Funke. Let's get to work. It's a new year, and a new legislative session is beginning here in Albany. The governor's State of the State kicks off the new year, followed by legislators' reactions, a budget presentation, and then negotiations. It is all driven by the governor, and we merely react to his priorities. So I thought I'd get a jump start on that and lay out my own priorities and my own philosophy on where I see our state right now. The most troubling thing I see right now is poisonous partisanship that's dividing our state and our country. We can't agree on what is and what isn't real news, or what does or doesn't constitute an objective fact. And that fundamental division on basic values leads to extreme approaches on either side and not a lot of room to work together to get things done. The governor has contributed to this environment every bit as much as the president. It's bad for everybody, and it needs to end. We need less bombast and more solutions. Fewer partisan talking points and more pragmatism. Fewer insults, more mutual respect. I see my role as a problem solver. Whether it's a statewide issue or a local issue, it's about achieving a result, not about achieving the credit. In fact, that's a good place to start. Let's talk about results. Are we really getting our money's worth here in New York State? Are we headed in the right direction or the wrong direction? The governor likes to check boxes with one top-down solution after another and one warmed-over, radical, progressive talking point after another. And then by force of his own will, simply declares that we've accomplished the mission. He tells us we have the lowest middle-class taxes in 70 years and the lowest corporate taxes since 1968. He tells us his economic development program is working. He tells us things are going well in upstate New York. So let me ask you this. In your heart, do you really believe he's right? Most people I speak to will answer with a resounding no. Trust your gut. If you don't feel better off today, then you're not. And no amount of stilted statistics and rhetoric will change that. What will change it is action. I propose a new approach. One where government doesn't hand out money to companies, but instead dramatically lowers taxes across the board for everybody and creates an economic environment where companies want to come here and want to compete to build here. Complaining about what's going on at the federal level isn't going to do a thing to reduce our taxes here. We need to take a good hard look in the mirror and figure out once and for all why our taxes are so high and how we can do a better job allocating our resources and our revenue. The state needs to step up and take on the full cost of Medicaid from counties and at the same time right-size the services we do provide to get these runaway costs under control. We should also cut taxes on energy by eliminating the gross receipts tax and the 18A assessment and require utilities to pass those savings to ratepayers. For businesses, we should cut corporate taxes, eliminate the Hunger Games approach of the Red Sea, and instead reestablish categorical as-right tax credits that level the playing field for everybody, take power away from Albany, and unleash the competitive power of the private sector. And we need to support our workers. We can't do it by picking regulations out of the sky to meet a national political agenda. We do it by evaluating proposals based on how it will help New York State be a more competitive state for business and a just state for working people. For the construction trades, we need a definition of public work put into law. If the state invests significant taxpayer money on a project, it should ensure that workers are paid at the prevailing rate. That puts money into the pockets of workers, which is spent here, and ensures a better, safer work product for all of us. At the same time as the governor has refused to clearly support that change, he has doubled down on policies that don't make any sense. They include this new baffling scheduling regulation which ties the hands of employers and hurts employees, and his new minimum wage board on tipped professions. Both hurt the people they're intended to help and, in my view, constitute another illegal end run around the Constitution and around the legislature. And finally, the state needs reform. We need to empower the people. We need initiative and referendum laws to allow policies to come from the bottom up instead of the top down. We need term limits to take the power away from professional politicians. And we need recall elections to hold the corrupt accountable. We need procurement reform to ensure that corruption, like that which has been alleged at the Nanotech College and from top aides to Governor Cuomo, won't be repeated again. And finally, we need to change our Constitution to stop the governor from forcing policy proposals into his budget that have nothing to do with dollars and cents. You know, our state has vast advantages, like our natural beauty from the Finger Lakes to the Adirondacks, our great tourist locations, our economic potential, our quality schools, and our great teachers. But we aren't living up to our potential under the governor's leadership. We can do better. We must do better. It's an honor and a privilege to serve, and I am looking forward to this legislative session. I'm Senator Rich Funke.